Welcome back. It's the first Takedown podcast. I'm Alex, alongside of Hunter. Hunter, how you doing, my friend?
Best time of the year?
Best time of the year. Best time of the year. Why? Because it's conference season. Number two, didn't tell you this, but tomorrow is 1 year since we did our first
You
Takedown
didn't tell me that.
podcast.
Heck
Didn't
yeah,
tell
dude.
you.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
you weren't gonna. Yeah, you almost butchered it when you just said first
First
takedown.
Takedown.
Yeah, you got a little stumbled there when you
Yeah.
started to reveal that. But no, that's awesome, dude. I know we started this like just as kind of an outlet for you and I to kind of talk about wrestling, and I think you and I have grown closer a bit. Just being able to talk more, and which is awesome. Having that ability for us to kind of get to know each other a little more. I mean, we wrestled together in college, but it's just, when you get to be a little bit later in life, you kind of grow apart, and it's cool that we were able to stay that way. And I feel like our group, our wrestling group, has stayed that way because of wrestling, because of us being fans and us being involved and watching the tournament and watching wrestling throughout the year. So I know we were just talking about that before we hopped on, how much activity's been going on recently within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is the time where those, I'm sure other wrestlers, college wrestlers can relate, where this is maybe high school, like whatever it is, this is the time where that chat gets active, whether it's like group chat or whatever about end of season, Big 10s, Big 12, ACC, and then getting into NCAA tournament.
SoCons?
Yeah, SoCons, EIWA, Mac. But this is where it starts getting excited, and like if you're a wrestling fan, this is what you live for this week.
Yeah.
And in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it really is. And, conference is cool, but, nationals is the best. But this is the first stop. You have to do well this weekend to make it there for a lot of guys. And I would say probably more so this year in the Big Ten, there's some guys that got to go get a spot, that haven't earned a spot. Mostly some Iowa guys, right? So That's interesting. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that a little bit. We won't talk about as much about, who needs a bid or who's going to allocate. We're going to mostly just kind of give our picks for Big Tens. We'll talk about some stuff, going into Big 12s. But I mean, the topic of conversation that everybody's talking about is these darn pre-seeds, Alex.
Yeah, I know. The algorithm that did some people dirty. That, returning champs coming in as a couple two seeds, and we can start getting into it. But I mean, what's your thoughts behind that?
Well, I mean, it's just math. It's so I don't get mad at the data or what it spits out, because that's what they came up with. It's the issue is the formula that was used to go into this. And the issue is that they changed this, sounds like to me, they changed it to this without really doing any sort of research to see what it would have spit out in a prior year.
Yeah.
Right. So like my whole thought process is like, hey, take last year's, matches and run them through this formula and then see where the seeds are. And if they're like, okay, then like, all right, we've got something. We know we've got something. But it sounds like that wouldn't have been the case, right? I mean, just based on this year, this year isn't some crazy year to where Levi Haynes, that would have never happened in another year. I mean, that was Levi Haynes wrestled a full schedule, was undefeated, beat the guy he's seated behind. It just makes no sense. But it's not the data's fault. It's the people that came up with the formula's fault, and then used basically no background to make sure that that formula was going to be okay. Because if they would have had a different formula.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're already like that. I mean, just from the results, it sounds like maybe that would change next year already. But what does, just for the people that don't know, what does the process look like? Because we're gonna get into our picks. What this, maybe not necessarily what all the seeds are right now, some of them, but what does it look like now? We're recording on a Wednesday, but tournament starts Saturday. What does that process look like now to fix those?
Yeah, so they're going to have a seeding meeting Friday for all the seeds for the Big Ten. And if you're basically within 15 points of the next guy, or of any guy for that matter, you can be challenged to go above that guy. So your coach can challenge, which, I mean, it's going to be a long seeding meeting because they're going to be challenging a lot of these. But some of them flat out can't be changed. and I don't know which ones those are because we haven't seen the numbers. We can kind of figure out maybe who's close just with our own, if we wanted to. You could go through and do this on your own if you wanted to. It would take some time, but you could do it. But, you got to imagine the ones like Levi's going to get flipped. You would think like Caliendo and Blaze are going to get flipped. Ones like that you think are going to get fixed. But, your Angelo Ferraris, your Brandon Cannons, I don't really know. The guys that didn't wrestle, I'm not sure they're going to get much love.
Yeah, and I think we've kind of seen that in the past. The guys that kind of been out and hurt, it's like, well, their seed is what it is, and um, kind of have to show up. And then some of those, are they going to wrestle to just get to that spot to where they, get their bid for NCAAs? But going into it, I mean, do you want to just kind of start at 25 and work
Yeah.
our way up? I mean, the other one, actually, I'm going to hold off on my seat because we're going to get to it, but because I want to ask your question about it. But I mean, going at 25, got Lil Dolls 1, Spencer Moore's a 2, and Buzakis 3, Jacob Moran 4. I just said we weren't going to go seeds, and I just listed all 4, but it's fine. I mean, I think we still to see that Lil Adol Buzakis final, and
Yeah, I think Buzakis will move to the 2, and I think maybe Peterson will slide up in these. Dean Peterson. I think those will be the main changes that we see from this. Other than that, I don't see a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, if you're Iowa, you probably want to get Dean on Buzakis' side.
mm-hmm.
Preferably, I would think you'd want to get him early, right? So maybe you want to get him as like the 7, if that's possible. So you could get Buzakis as like a 2-7. But I'm not sure if that's going to be, or actually you want him as the 6, and maybe you wrestle Spencer Moore, a guy you already beat, because Dean Peterson won that match. Anyways, regardless, I do think it's Lilidal Buzakis in the final. And, late in the day, and I mentioned this last time, I think I'm going to pick Buzakis. And the main reason is just this is going to be wrestled, this final is going to be wrestled pretty late in the day after weigh-ins. And I think he's going to be on full feed. I think he catches Lilidal with something early and kind of hangs on to that lead and ends up getting this one. I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to pick at the national tournament, but I just have a feeling, and yeah, I'm gonna pick Buzakis here.
It feels like one of those where Buzakis to come win Big Ten championship and then not even be in the final against Lilidal at the NCAA tournament. Not saying that I'm going to pick that too, but
no,
that's
100%. It could very well happen that way. For some reason, it makes me want to. I think it's kind of a coin flip match, especially late in the day. I don't want to like oversell that, but I also don't want to undersell it. I don't think it's nothing. I think Buzakis has a lot of horsepower. We've seen that, and I think he could get to something early on Lilidal and just kind of maybe avoid some of those reattacks early. Maybe hit him with something and then end up winning the tournament. But yeah, that's what I've got for 25. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think the same. I mean, maybe you convinced me just a little bit more because I was kind of hoping that would be what you're picking. But maybe that's just a little bit more of my heart pick. Like I just want to see it happen. Nothing against Lilidal. I just want to see Buzakis do something, throw him to his back because I think we wanted it last time with the last time they wrestled and it didn't happen.
Well, I ended up taking Penn State minus 17.5 pretty late, so I actually didn't want that. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm gonna still I'm gonna go with my head pick and just say Lilidal is kind of figured out, even if he has to wrestle wrestle smart and not get into any tie ups and get a quick counterattack, and I think still win it. I think he's on a mission still from last year and how last year finished out. So I'm gonna pick Lilidal, but that's me. All right, 133, some exciting matchups, but as far as seed changes, does anything change? You've got the former national champ at number 2, but I don't know.
I think this one they got right. I mean, I guess you could make an argument for Bird over Blaze, but it's not like Bird's loss, or I mean Blaze is lost, so it's kind of if you challenge this, I don't really know what ground you have to change it. It's like it's like a call in like in like a football game, you challenge a call on the field, like you kind of need some evidence to overturn it. I don't really know like what's your evidence for overturning and putting Bird over Blaze in the seeds. And if you tell me that if your answer is, well, he was a national champ last year and he's undefeated this year, well, that doesn't matter. That like him, what he did last year doesn't matter to me. Now, your ground could be he's number one in the coaches ranking. Okay. All right. Like that gives me some ground to stand on a little bit. But then I would say, okay, Marcus has wrestled a tougher schedule throughout the year. He's probably higher in the RPI. So it's just, what do you value? And these guys have both been undefeated. You know, it makes you maybe feel a little bit bad for Bird because he's done everything he's had to do, and he's going to possibly have to go through Davino and Blaze to win, which is not the route you really want. But I don't know. I don't really see any changes here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think. I mean, I feel like if I'm in Illinois' shoes, I'm gonna still try to. I mean, because it is a a much better path for him that way.
For
But
sure. No, I mean, if you're the coach, you got to try. You'd be throwing
yeah,
your hands up,
yeah,
saying, "Oh, we got the undefeated national champ. We need to be to be this seed." And I mean, you should do that. You should get
yeah,
your guy an easier
yeah.
path.
Why not? You're not gonna get down in a seat like
That's
you
right.
gotta shoot your shots. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think you're probably right though, and so from that means probably I mean still some wild matchups in that quarterfinals, but like do you still think maybe that Lucas Bird and Davino semi, and who's your pick there, or do you want me to go first this time?
I can go first if you want. If you want me to take the shock factor away again,
No, you
bury
take
the
it.
lead again.
Yeah, you take it. You take it.
I'm gonna pick Ben Davino to win the tournament.
Mm.
Yeah, I liked what I saw against Blaze on the road. He's looked awesome this year. I just think he gets to a score on Bird. It's kind of a low scoring match and wins that one. And he's kind of the guy nobody's talking about right now. Everybody's talking about Bird. Everybody's talking about Blaze. Everybody's talking about Jax Forrest. That last name, I will never besmirch the name Jax Forrest. I love the kid. He's my favorite wrestler. But this guy's good, man. He's really good. I know he's got probably the toughest path. Him and Bird got a really tough path to get there. But I just like the way he wrestles. He was in a, tiebreaker match, gives up a reversal to lose it, was kind of in the driver's seat there, and gives up some sketchy points at the end there that probably could have been avoided. And yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I think Ben Davino gets it done. I'm going to go back to back, and I'll bury the lead again. I'm going to go back to back to back
Right.
Buckeyes, Big Ten champs.
Ooh, hey, that's it's been a minute. It's been a minute for them Buckeyes to be back up there. So if they could get 3 in a row, that would be wild. That would be awesome. I feel like I go back and forth on this one because I think it was like, I think you tell me, after I was starting to watch Ben Davino, kind of like midway through the year, I was like, this guy's got it. And now all the I feel like not the respect, I guess, that Lucas Bird was getting, just because it's not as much hype behind him as much as these younger guys. Now I feel like it's kind of going back towards him, like, hey, don't forget about now. Everybody's like, yeah, we're not forgetting about Bird. So now I'm like, oh, now do I want to do it? Because maybe we were right with these young guys. So I feel like it's throwing me around, and I still want to do it though. I think this hard path that Lucas Bird is going to have, I think he gets it done. Think he gets
Yeah.
it done, and he says, "See this, guys? I'm still the champ. Don't forget." So, and that's
Well,
maybe that's a little bit.
we're probably both gonna be wrong, and Marcus Blaze is gonna
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
What's crazy is we picked the guy with the easy. Both of us picked the guy with the harder path.
yeah,
Neither one of us picked Marcus Blaze, which is it's almost like, all right, you can kind of pencil him in for the finals, but I don't know. We both picked the guy on the same side of the bracket to win. It's kind of funny.
yeah. I feel like there's only going to be a couple here where we choose different, and as we start to get to the other weights, it's going to be a lot more similar. But anyways, yeah. So I think I liked
Yeah,
having a couple different anyway from you.
I
So
agree.
all right, 141, 141.
Yeah, again, I think they got the seeds right. There's a couple guys, Joey Oliveri, Braden Davis that stick out as kind of sore thumbs there. Joey Oliveri hasn't wrestled anybody in the conference, though, so it's kind of hard to rank him or, seed him in this bracket. And then Braden Davis came into the year pretty late. That's an early round matchup right now. I expect that to change. I expect these guys to kind of get shuffled a little bit. But if you're Penn State, maybe you go and you try to get Braden Davis up to the 6. I think that would be a good spot for him to go. He'd have a first round match, and then he would wrestle Von Bauer in the quarters, and then if he wins that one, he'd wrestle Brock Hardy in the semis. And I think you got to feel pretty good about that that path there.
Yeah.
As long as you kind of, I think you kind of got to avoid going Joey Oliveri, Brock Hardy, Vance Von Bauer, and then Jesse Mendez. That path is horrible, but I think you feel decent about Braden's path depending on where he gets seated. Regardless, my final is going to be Mendez Hardy. I think that, there's some guys that could spoil it on the bottom side. There's nobody that can spoil it on the top side. And I'm going to have Mendez bonusing his way through the tournament.
I like it. Yeah, that's what it's funny because I do have this feeling a little bit of like Braden Davis, if he can get into that better spot, it's not a long shot for him to get out there like that last match he had with Hardy. Got stuck and pinned, but was winning the match before that. And
yeah.
So it's if he does get switched, then that route gets a lot easier. But I do still think will be another matchup of Mendez Hardy, and Mendez winning. You said bonus too there?
I said bonus. I think that he's pretty much bonused everybody he's wrestled this year.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten. So, no reason to change that.
Yeah. I think in the running for how his season ends for Hodge Trophy. So just
yep. He needs all of them. All of them.
Yep. Kind of straightforward. Same pick there, Jesse Mendez. 3 in a row for Ohio State for Hunter. I don't think he's gonna do it in this one, but 149.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so either. Not much to go through on the seeds. I hate this weight. Yeah. I absolutely hate 149. And so, I don't really even have much to go off of. I think it's Van Ness. I don't even know who would challenge him right now. And so, yeah, I'm going to go Van Ness. I'm going to say Styles is in the finals, and it's like a 9-2 decision for Van Ness.
That sounds about right. Now at this one, if you're looking at, our group and picking Big Tens, or we pick one seed per weight, this is where, it was giving a little hint to Hunter, but this is where maybe kind of like where Ryder Block's at, number 8. I don't know. Looking at some of the younger, lower seeds here.
Yeah, the problem is that he's at number 8, right? So, like, you're going to have to see. It's not like he's going to make a run on the top side. He'd have to make a run on the backside.
Backside, yeah.
Unless he gets moved to number 7, and then maybe he is an interesting guy to maybe make a run to the finals. But I agree. I think that's an interesting name that it kind of sticks out, like this guy's better than the 8 seed in the bracket, but you're counting on him to basically make a run on the back end because he's. Yeah. I know he had a decently close match with Van Ness. I just don't see him beating Van Ness.
No, I think you're right there. Well, Van Ness probably going to pull away, and this is the 1 seed, and don't see too much change with this one. Now, a pretty fun
Can
one.
I offer you an opposing view of what you just said?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so outside of Van Ness, you don't really feel good about the bracket, right?
Yeah, I not too much.
So what about trying to get a little unique, because you don't want to come into our thing with the same lineup as somebody else, right?
Right.
You basically, take yourself out of the opportunity to win if you have the same lineup. Now, it doesn't really happen often, but it could happen. So what if you use this as an opportunity to get unique and do something nobody else is going to do? Most guys, I think, are penciling in Mitchell Messenbrink as their number 1. But what if you get a little unique and go Shane Van Ness and you see some 65 that you like and they could make a run? Just playing devil's advocate. I think that a lot of times in our competition, we've done this, and I'm always trying to look for like that 1 or 2 thing that nobody else is going to do. just to make sure that I have a unique team and that no one else is going to pick this guy or that guy.
Yeah.
Because there's some obvious picks, right? There's some
Yeah.
obvious ones that everybody's going to pick.
Yeah. Gabe Arnold, do I get like theirs there?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? There's some obvious ones, but there's some other ones that are a little hard. And hey, I might have to go this way. Maybe I pick a Shane Van Ness and I pick an LJ Araju or something like that at 65.
Yeah.
Or,
So
go ahead.
I was going to say, so if for people, I know we've explained this in the past, but what
Yeah.
we do when Hunter talking about these picks, so for our draft order for the NCAA tournament, we do the Big Tens where you have to pick one per weight class, but it's one seed. So if I can only pick one number one seed, so that's what he's saying. I could pick Shane Van Ness as my one seed, and then I pick
Yeah,
one.
and we don't really want to get too far down this rabbit hole. This is a little niche. We understand it's a little niche.
Yeah.
I'm just
saying,
it's a fun game. I think
Shane,
the point I'm trying to make to the broader audience is that I think Shane Van Ness is such a massive favorite at this weight class, and there's not a great other pick. Whereas at 65, although Messenbrink is a huge favorite, there might be some guys in there that you feel better about.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Because I hate picking 49. I'll let you know that, I don't like it.
I usually, and this is also just rabbit trail, but I usually pick two different teams just to see how different I can make it, and then I usually end up picking the first one. Anyway,
Never done that.
All right, go 57. Like I said, this one's a little bit more exciting. We've got some fun matchups. I know we've got Cannon Webster back in. We haven't seen him wrestling. What's going to change in this one, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the one that sticks out is Brandon Cannon being at the 7, and
Oh, that's why I said Cannon Webster. I meant Brandon Cannon. You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. You're good. Brandon Cannon being at the 7 obviously sticks out because, that would set up a Cannon Webster PJ Duke match. Or, see, I did the same thing. A Brandon Cannon PJ Duke match. And, in the quarters. And so that's tough for Duke to draw that, especially when Brandon Cannon has beaten Charlie Millard twice this year, which, I mean, it's just hard to say you've beaten a guy twice and you're stuck behind him in the seeds. I just don't get that. So, and so we'll see what they end up doing here. I don't know where Brandon Cannon stacks up points wise. So I don't even know if he can jump Millard or not. I'm going to pick PJ Duke. Again, I know he's got, from what I'm looking at right now, he's got the hardest path easily. I mean, from what I'm looking at right now, Antrell Taylor would have to beat Anthony White or Cam Catrabone. And PJ Duke's got to beat freaking Brandon Cannon and Cannon Webster to make it to the final.
Trail, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to go through a couple cannons. So I know he's got a tough path as it sits right now, but I just think the kid is really talented. I think he figures it out. I think he's gotten his hands on Antrell once now. He's kind of felt it. He was really close to getting that takedown in the first match. I just think he figures out these guys. Maybe not the prettiest tournament, but I think he just kind of wins his way through it.
Yeah. I think this time last year, I didn't give Antrell kind of the flowers that he deserved, and then he came up in an NCAA tournament and won the whole thing. We've seen this year that he is a gamer for sure and finds ways to win at the end of a lot of matches. So I'm wondering if he can do that for a whole tournament. Why I kind of also was going PJ Duke this time, and because I do think PJ Duke is a guy that kind of seems like he would learn from his past matches a lot more and change up not stylistically, but change up game plan just a little bit more, get that takedown and, and then wrestle his match. But, I think PJ Duke pulls this one in. Again, tough path, and it could go the other way. Antrell is a gamer, so we'll see how that one finishes out. But that is a pretty kind of fun weight class. Interested to see how Brandon Cannon does to just not wrestling for a minute.
Yeah, that's the question, right? How healthy is he? Is he ready to go? We haven't seen him wrestle a match in a while.
Yeah, and then the drama, here's not Jordan Williams from Iowa. We've got Victor. You can say the last name for me. Voinovich. at the 10 seed for Iowa. And I mean, interesting one. I mean, not that I think that Jordan Williams would win this bracket, but good
No, but I
wrestler.
mean, I think Jordan Williams gives you better chances to beat top guys. I don't really
Yeah,
think Victor Voinovich has the ability to beat some of these top guys. So
right.
I don't I don't know. Something must have happened. Something's going on, whether it's a wrestle off or I don't know, team related things, but I mean, I don't know how you can watch Jordan Williams and not think he gives you a better chance to win matches at the national tournament.
Yep. All right, we're in 65. Got Mitchell, Caliendo, Blaze, Parks, Ruggiero. This is the one we said top probably the Blaze Caliendo flip because they wrestled a few weeks ago and Blaze won
Yeah,
that
and it was all
match.
Blaze, and Blaze won that match, and I think this one will get flipped pretty easily. Other than that, I don't see a whole lot. I do think it's Blaze Messenbrink in the finals, and I'm actually very, very intrigued by that match.
Yeah, I think I mean just hearing people talk and Joey might be the guy that could potentially get this done. I don't know if that is possible, but I want to see it. I want to see it go down.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick it. It's not something I'd pick,
Yeah.
but I think he more than anybody has shown that he can wrestle with Messenbrink. I don't really. Caliendo hasn't shown that to me this year. D. Lockett hasn't really shown that this year. Now, maybe D. Lockett has shown that he can keep it close with Mitchell, but, Joey is a guy that actually goes out there and scores points.
Yeah, D
And
Lockett,
so,
there's gonna be a couple stalling points
yeah,
probably. I feel like
exactly. And so I'm really intrigued by this match because of that. I think Joey scores points. Mitchell scores points. I really want to see this match in the finals.
yeah, I do too. And I wonder if
And just give
Caliendo.
me. I'm gonna go grab my water. Give me
Oh,
just
you're
a.
good.
You
You're
can
good.
keep talking to the
I'll talk to
fans if you want.
myself. Yeah, I'll talk to myself, but act like you're still here. So, I think I wonder if Caliendo can adjust in this match against Joey. If they both make the semis again. My pick. Don't tell Hunter he's not here. Joey Blaze upset. Joey
I can
Blaze gonna
still hear
upset.
you through the
Oh yeah, you
headphones.
still hear me? Never mind.
I
No,
can
I'm just
still hear
kidding.
you through the headphones.
Forgot. Messenbrink's gonna win either way this time. But
I was like, what is he really about to pick Joey Blaze?
that's 65. All right, you ready to keep moving?
Oh, yeah.
7-4. 7-4. Here's a big a big problem
Yeah.
probably. Levi Haynes number 2, Minto, Nebraska number 1. Probably gonna get changed.
Yeah, that'll get switched. I think Minto will go down to the 3. Actually, Kennedy beat him earlier in the year as well. So I think he'll move up to the 2. I think Minto down to the 3. Levi will stay at the 1, and then they'll wrestle, and Levi will win the tournament.
Yep. Yep. I think so too. I mean, even if one is a closer match, like in points, I think he used to be controlling the match the whole time and winning.
Do you know how many Big Ten titles Levi Haynes will have if he wins this?
2?
He'll have 4.
4? Really? I didn't know that. 1-4 and has won NCAAs twice.
He's won it once.
Won it once.
He
Dang.
took second to Austin O'Connor,
and
and then he won it, and then
lost
he took third last year
lost
up at
to Hamity.
74, and now he's going for his second title and going for his 4th Big Ten title.
Sounds like David Taylor.
You know what? It kind of sounds exactly like David Taylor, besides taking third, because David didn't take third, but he took second. Pretty much the same, because freshman year, Levi, Big Ten champ, lost in the finals. Then he won it. Then he didn't win it. And then, you got to go win a Big Ten title and then win nationals. But still, I mean, that's the track. That's the time.
Yep.
He won a world title a little bit faster than David did, though.
Yeah, that's true. He did. Yeah. So I think that's kind of where that one lies. I think 74. Levi is on the path to do a 4th time. There you go. Knowledge to me.
Yep. Ball
All right.
knowledge.
A little bit more fun weight class 184. Seeing some of these matchups again and some that we haven't seen. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't even know if Ferrari can move or not. I don't even know if he's within the points to move. And if that's the case, it's going to be Welsh, Ferrari in the quarters, which is just nuts. And then I'm going to do what I didn't do here. So what I did with the first, with 33 was I took a guy that had to go through the tough path. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm just gonna pick Max and just give myself a shot at having a guy in the finals because I don't really know what's gonna happen with the Welsh and Ferrari match. It could be either one. I'm just gonna pick McAnally, and I think he's kind of been he took a loss at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of just been like Max is just whatever. He's not that caliber. I still think he's up there. I still think he's with those guys. I think maybe Sinclair's not a good matchup for him. So if he sees him in the national tournament, maybe that's not great. But we will
Is
see.
that his loss? Is that his only loss?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his only
I'm pretty
loss.
sure so.
I'm gonna check really quick. He's 17-1. And his only loss was to Sinclair. And that was in the Missouri Minnesota duel at national duels.
So the reason I like that pick, I think McAnally kind of, you hear a lot, but I think he kind of rises to the level of his like competition a little bit when he's wrestling. And so like even he's had a few matches where you're like, "Whoa, this is probably a lot closer than it should have been."
Yeah.
But when he wrestles good guys, I think he kind of rises to that level, and so I think he will do that. He last year's Big Ten finalist against Srirachi gave him the only person to take him down, right? Last year, unless
Yeah.
I don't remember if he got taken down in national tournament or
I
not,
don't No, I think that was
but
it.
um, so I don't know. I think he's gonna come in ready to go this time. The top side is interesting with Ferrari. When you said I don't think he can move, I was like, I thought you meant like injury wise. I was like, oh man, I wonder if he can move.
Well, it's the same thing with Brandon Cannon. I don't know where Ferrari's at.
Yeah,
I think if you're probably just going to go, hey, I'm going to pick Welsh to win that match. He won it last time when Ferrari was healthy. I don't know if Ferrari's healthy. I'm just going to pick Welsh again. Okay. Works for me. I just want to be a little contrarian here and pick Max because I think Rocco does beat Ferrari again. And I haven't seen that McAnally Welsh match. I just think McAnally's one of those guys that can kind of stay in that hand fight the whole time
yeah, he's not afraid
with
to
Rocco.
not afraid of that ham fight, and I think can probably score like he can score pretty quick sometimes. That's why I think it could maybe go down to like a overtime, then he scores a quick one. Like
Well, and we saw what happened in that fishback match with Welsh. If
yeah,
if McAnally could sting him early, I don't know that he's a guy that gets run down very often. I know Srirachi ended up coming back and beating him, but it's not like he was exhausted. He was staying in that match.
yeah, yeah. So and I think this is a big factor for how the 84 the bracket turns out for NCAAs. Uh, some important matchups. I mean, do you think no matter what that Sinclair would be the no, Sinclair lost to Ferrari. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead going to national tournament, but if Rocco were to lose here, then I feel like that changes up like what the seedings would be.
If Rocco loses to Ferrari and Ferrari wins the tournament, I think Ferrari has a case to be the 1 seed, which is wild. If Rocco wins the tournament, obviously he would be the 1 seed.
yeah,
If McAnally wins, I think Sinclair would be the 1, McAnally would be the 2.
yeah, and
And
they
then
maybe
probably Ferrari or Rocco would be the 3 or the 4 after that. But it's really down to 4 guys in a way that could be the 1 seed, unless some craziness happens and, Sinclair takes a loss or something, which I just don't know. I don't see that happening. Then, technically speaking, James Conway he has 1 loss, but it's to Jackson Smith, who's out for the season. So technically, I know he has that loss, but I don't even know if that loss will count because that guy's not in the field. I don't know how that works. It'll definitely count for his winning percentage and all that, but hell, he's got 30 matches. His winning percentage is like 97%.
Yeah, he's got so many more matches than everybody
So
else.
many more matches. And so, I'm not saying he has a case for the 1. He doesn't have a
Yeah.
case for the 1, but he could be the 5 seed.
Yeah, and I mean, depending on this tournament, I feel like also could slip into the 4 if these guys are to lose. Like,
No, I think if Ferrari takes another loss to Rocco and then let's say he defaults out or something, who knows? Maybe he beats Rocco and defaults out. You could see him slide in the
yeah,
seeds.
yeah,
You could see Ferrari really take a dip because he's only got 10 matches.
yeah,
He's not going to have enough for RPI. Now he will be in the coaches rank, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into those seeds, into that matrix, and it doesn't work as well when you don't have a lot of matches. Let's just say that.
yeah. Either way, this is still going to be a fun wait. And does have like a lot of some really good matchups, potentially some early quarterfinal like exciting matchups too. Ferrari. So excited to see how this one plays out. I mean, we talked about like last year how the 84 would be a fun one, and it's kind of narrowed down a little bit, but still some going to be some exciting matchups.
Yeah, let's move on to 97. I mean, I feel like every time we get an exciting weight, we then get a weight after it that's
Yeah,
not very
yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a big drop off after bar. And I mean, all these guys feel the same. As much as I love Branson John, he's one of a few at this weight. And so, it kind of stinks for him being on the top side at the 4 seed, but you know, you could very well see a handful of guys making the finals. I mean, I don't really see anybody in here that I'm like, whoa, this guy can't make the finals if they're on the bottom side.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only exciting, I'd say, not only exciting. I don't want to. These guys are all still very good wrestlers, but just to compare to where like the caliber and the level of that even playing field, it just Josh Barr seems pretty far ahead of everybody else. But the exciting thing is that we're going to see Gabe Arnold at 97 now. He's got the 13 seed because I don't know how many matches he's wrestled at 97. It's like 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know, and I don't even know if he can move from the 13. I wouldn't even know if anybody would, if his coaches would even want to challenge that. My only thing is maybe they'd want to challenge it to get him to 11 so that he could be on the bottom side. But, because then your path goes, if you're the 11, you go Wyatt Ingham first round, you go Remy Cotton second round, you go Camden McDaniel in the semis, and so that's a pretty favorable path if you're the 11 seed. But again, without him having matches at the weight, I don't even know if he can challenge for that or not.
Yeah, yeah, and then this is one of those that we talked about. Iowa's gonna have to try to win that spot for sure.
Yeah, and I think Gabe will get it done. I really
Yeah,
do. Whether it's on the front side of the back or the back side. I mean, in this scenario, he's on the top side, but anybody, like I said, anybody he's got in that range, he can wrestle with. Remy Cotton, Branson John, Luke Geog, Wyatt Ingham, Cale Whistler, Gabe Sollers, Ben Venadia. I mean, he's
yeah,
he's wrestling with all those guys, even being undersized.
yeah, and I think Gabe's kind of won the masses back over just for kind of putting himself like the team before himself of wrestling these 3 different weights, and now he's a little definitely undersized for 197, and so I think he's got a little bit of like, all right, let's see what this guy can do. He's wrestling up. Let's see. I like it. I think it's fun and giving the guy a chance to compete when he can't at the other 2 spots.
Yeah, I'm excited for Gabe. I want him to do well. Does he place here? Does he qualify? Does he go into the national tournament? He's going to have a bad seed at the national tournament, but what can he do? Can he get qualified? Can he go compete at nationals? Can he put himself on the podium? I think it's a pretty cool storyline.
Yeah, it is. All right, last one, heavyweight here. Anything changing? Well, Ferrari probably it wouldn't be the 2, right? He would probably drop down.
Yeah, I could see Feldman jumping him because he beat him twice,
Yeah.
but I mean it's kind of is what it is. I mean, they're probably going to meet in the semis either way. I'm gonna
Oh, I guess neither of us said, but me picking Josh Barr for 97. By the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I think
I'm
we
gonna
kind
do
of.
something crazy here. I don't know if I can do it because he's got a I really want to pick Colmier Sola.
Mm,
I really do. I just don't know that I can. I mean, he's gonna have to go through Amos, Gadali, and one of Ferrari or Feldman.
yeah,
So
that's tough.
yeah, I'm just gonna pick. I mean, that's the only two picks I've got. I'm not picking Tay and I'm not picking AJ because AJ has to beat Nick Feldman and he hasn't done that yet. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna pick another Buckeye. Give me 4 on the top of the podium. 4 Buckeyes. I'll pick Nick Feldman.
Wow. All right. I'm interested. I just think about that Feldman Mirasola match, and I was so disappointed with. I know that they wouldn't be wrestling each other, but I was like,
They
dang,
might be, but they might be.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, this one is. I mean, we'll get into a little bit of the DraftKings here in a second, but this is one where I'm like, if somebody's favorable, if the price is right, then I would maybe do it just because I don't feel
Yeah.
super confident about a lot of these.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I mean, I really thought Feldman and Mirasola had long odds, and I thought about sprinkling a little bit on both of those guys, just saying maybe one of them gets it done, And I should have when the odds were a little longer and didn't get to it quick enough. But I like Feldman and Mirasola here.
Yeah.
Like as much as I want to say I'll pick them to make the finals, I won't pick that. I think that Mirasola maybe drops it to Tay, and Tay's probably the pick, but I just don't want to pick him.
I
So,
know. I know.
how about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, okay, Cole Mirasola, they're at Penn State, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's, kind of at home a little bit. He's proven he can get some upsets. But I think, you know what? I'm going to stick as my pick with Tay because Michigan doesn't have anybody else that's going to win.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm going to do the boring one. It's not what you want, but that's what's going to happen, probably. All right, that's our...
Penn State runs away with a team title, as everyone predicted.
Yep, they did it. All right, that's Big Tens. That's Big Tens. Before we get in, I know we won't go all the way through like Big 12s and SoCon and a couple others. A lot of wrestling starting this weekend, but just I want to hit real quick on DraftKings because it's pretty interesting. I mean, for me in Tennessee right now, all that's available on the books is the Big 12 tournament, and it's just like a team. For Georgia, what are they showing anything?
And I can't gamble in Georgia, right? But I can see the Big 10 lines. I can't see the Big 12 individual lines.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina, you can see Big 12 and Big 10 individual lines. So, there's some stuff you can take away from those lines. What does Vegas think about these guys? And, we discussed some of those yesterday and kind of figured out maybe some routes we would go if we could take them. We really liked Jax Forrest at minus 155. I liked PJ Duke at like plus 280. And I also liked Kyler Larkin in the Big 12, which we'll get to now, at plus 380 to win the tournament. I just thought that was too long of odds for the guy that's going to be the 1 seed, and he's probably he's got the best resume right now to say, in my opinion, that he would win the tournament. Normally I would pick Robidou, but he just hasn't looked himself.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, and I know that's kind of always how it's been. Like, states a little bit different in what they're doing, but I like that. I wish I could do personally myself. I wish I could do the individuals.
Yeah,
but it's kind of interesting the lines like that. That Jax Forrest was that minus 155, and
that's such a fun bracket to follow as well. I mean, I know we want to hit on DK, but man, if you're following Big 12s at all, I mean, Jax for that 133 pound and that 157 pound weight class at Big 12s is so much fun. Jax Forrest, Evan Frost, Kyler Larkin, all ranked inside the top 6. And then you've got at 157, you've got Caleb Larkin, Landon Robidou, Vinny Zerbin, and Ty Waters all ranked within the top 8. 4 guys there ranked in the top 8. So going to be some crazy semis and only 5 automatic qualifiers at that weight at 157. So some ranked guy is going to have to go grab one somehow.
Dang, that's pretty wild. Yeah, and I think Big 12 is always fun when they get to the semis and the finals. I feel like anything can really happen in the Big 12 finals. Like, that's why I feel like you see some upsets a lot. So that's a good one. That one's actually, I guess that one started. This is Friday, Saturday, but something else I thought I said Sunday. But
yeah, it says Friday, Saturday. I think that used to be Sunday.
Yeah,
for the Big 12, but
Yeah.
always got kind of late, and so they would do the finals like super late Sunday night, and I think they wanted to get away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one's starting Friday. Big Tens is Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Big 12's Friday, Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Finals are at 8 o'clock Eastern
Nice.
for Big 12s.
Also Friday you got WA, you got MAC, you got SoCon.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Pac-12 all
probably be
starting.
at the semis for the SoCons on Friday. I think I'm gonna drive up to Asheville Friday afternoon, watch a little SoCon action that night, and then Saturday we'll see. Probably gonna
Saturday.
head back.
Oh,
Probably gonna
okay.
head back home.
Not gonna keep
But
going to
wanna
Penn
no,
State.
no, that's not the tournament I want to be at all day. But I do want to watch the semis. There's a lot of team implications that go on in the semis at the SoCon tournament. Not that anybody's that interested in that, but if you are, obviously I coached at Chattanooga and wrestled at Gardner Webb, so I've got some interest in some of those matchups.
Yeah, and they had another a three-way tie this year, right? With the
They did. Citadel, App, and Chat had a three-way tie for the dual conference championship, and now we'll kind of see what unfolds at the tournament. I feel like the two favorites should be Chat and App. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. So it might come down to the semifinals huge, and then when you get into the finals,
Oh yeah,
that'll
yep.
be
Yeah. I
be
mean, if
fun.
you can push through, 4, 5, 6 guys to the finals,
Ooh,
you're
big
feeling
time.
pretty good.
Yep. Well, this is a time to be a great time to be alive.
It is.
That's what I'll
It's
say.
the best, some would say.
Don't think about what else is going on in the world, but just focus on wrestling right now, because
Nothing else is going on.
that's right. It's that's what I'm looking forward to.
Me
I
too.
mean, I am having a baby, and that's why my
No,
background
that's
just keeps
important
changing.
too.
Definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. But
Yeah.
before that,
Good luck.
well, hey, that's our breakdown. I know we didn't get too much into the other conferences, but Big Ten, obviously the premier conference when it comes to wrestling. Some really exciting matchups. We're going to see what seeds are changing on Friday, and then a lot of the other conference tournaments starting Friday, Saturday, and going into Sunday. So you can get banged up for 3 days, right?
So probably next week we'll probably do a show talking about the Nationals seeds, I would think. Maybe first just diving into some of the seeds and what stands out to us. And then we'll do a preview show that following week.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if I should do like some clips, and I'm talking about this online. You guys can listen. Shout out Fishfinder 6427. What's up? I don't know if you're listening to this.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
We got to post something with him on there and put in the comment like, appreciate your content.
Appreciate
That's
you.
gonna,
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. But maybe fun to do some longer clips. I don't want to Christian Piles it, but longer clips of each weight of kind of breaking it down, because that'll be fun.
I love it. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. Well, this has been the First Takedown podcast. Appreciate you guys listening. Follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube. Leave some comments, share it, and we will see you next time. Enjoy conference weekend. Peace.